In Britain, the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats are continuing negotiations to try and reach a power-sharing deal.
The two parties intend to hold more talks over the next 24 hours, and for more, we're joined by Europe correspondent Philip Williams. Phil, where are we at?
Well, you might be having a boring budget back in Australia, but we're having a very exciting election wash-up here. Yes, the Liberal Democrats and the Conservatives are still negotiating. They're trying to find enough common ground, either for a formal coalition or at least an understanding whereby there could be at least some chance of a stable government that would last more than a few months. The sticking points appear to be on electoral reform. It's a biggie for the Liberal Democrats. They want an end to the first-past-the-post system. They want preferential voting like Australia, which would give them a huge boost. And there are some areas, though, that they do agree on, such as education, freeing up education. What they clearly haven't done is found enough of that common ground, because after about 7 hours of talks between the two groups today, they didn't come to an agreement other than to say, we'll talk more. Now, if they don't come to an agreement, it's then Labor's turn to have a go, and Nick Clegg, the leader of the Liberal Democrats, actually spoke to the Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, today in what was supposed to be a secret meeting. It leaked out. And Nick Clegg also spoke to David Cameron face-to-face, who's the leader of the Conservatives. So it's a game of poker. He's playing, he's in the middle, he's in the box seat. But so far, we have still no idea, 3-4 days out from this election, who is going to be the Prime Minister of Britain and which party is going to dominate.
The issue of electoral reform, Phil, could be a key hurdle in those negotiations between the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats, because it's fair to say, isn't it, that the prospects of reforming the voting system is anathema to many Conservative MPs.
Absolutely, and they said very clearly that's just a no-go area. We're just not interested in that. And conversely, the Labor Party has said, come on in, this is what we'll give you, and we'll give it to you very quickly. We'll give you a referendum on this almost immediately. It's one of the first things we'll do. So from that point of view, the Labor offer is far more attractive. However, there's not as much legitimacy in an alliance with the Labor Party, even though technically they're closer in ideology, they're closer in policy, because they did so badly in the elections. The Conservatives have so many more seats, and even if they joined forces with Labor, they would still be short of a majority government, and they would still need the support of the Scottish Nationalists, the Welsh Nationalists, Northern Irish. It would be a very unstable coalition, and one that could collapse at any time. So the betting is at the moment that the Conservative Liberal Democrat alliance will somehow get through. And there is another imperative, and it's it's weighing heavily on everyone here, and that is there is a great sense of foreboding about Europe at the moment, particularly after Greece and there's fears of a contagion. The finance ministers of Europe are meeting at the moment to get together a big pot of money to help prop up countries that come under pressure, and the sense that, look, we can't be seen to be dithering here. We can't have a weak government here in Britain at a time of crisis. We need strong, decisive government, and we've got to get on with it. But it's not going to happen before the markets open here in this country in about 10 hours' time.
And it's fair to say that political leaders will be well and truly aware that any market reaction to continued political instability above and beyond what's coming out of Greece could be rather brutal.
Well, it could be, and especially when people are not in a mood, the international community, the money market community, are not in a mood to be looking favourably at anything closely related, anything vaguely related to Europe. Europe is, quite frankly, on the nose at the moment, and Britain is part of that. Now, Britain's tried to say very, very clearly, and Alistair Darling, who's the Chancellor here, is at that meeting of EU finance ministers, has said very, very clearly, look, we'll be involved in a general bailout fund for all European countries, but we're not touching what could be a multi-$100 billion bailout fund for Eurozone countries. So they're being quite separate about, we don't want to hitch our wagon and try and save the Eurozone because we're not part of that, but we will help countries more generally throughout Europe in the normal course of crises that may develop for those particular nations, like has happened with Romania. So they're playing a sort of a tricky game there too. The politics of that too is that Gordon Brown has already said, look, I'm continuing with the great issues of state as Prime Minister, and trying to sort of plant himself as the statesman, and, here we are in the middle of a crisis, and I'm the one that got you through the last one. Is that working? Probably not. His time is probably up. There are already MPs from his own backbenchers saying he should go. He's probably just can't survive, although Gordon Brown is a great survivor. He's been through many crises, but I don't think he'll get through this one.
More excitement ahead. Phil Williams in London, thank you very much.